Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee Books and Rain, where I do, have coffee. Had to get it. It was kind of stuck to my leg actually, just the glass part of it. But isn't it the cutest little mug? It's a little like hipster rabbit. The Airbnb owner has a collection of 6 different animals. I want them all. They're adorable and they're such great size too. So today I just have black coffee and it's delicious because it's Verona, one of my favorite blends. And we are diving into a book that the author, S.P. Witchell, reached out to me via my Gmail account, my, what is it? Coffee Books and Rain YT at gmail.com. Is it? Yeah, YT, because I could put YT for YouTube. Um, at my email address and asked if they could send me a copy of this book. I eagerly accepted once I kind of read the blurb because it definitely sounded like something that I wanted to read, and I am very glad I did. They did send me a couple little happies to go along with the book, so hang on. This is the book. Oh, wait, here we go. This is the book that I got from them. I was just making sure it doesn't catch the sunlight, the lamplight. Now I did take the dust jacket off because I am on vacation and I didn't want the dust jacket to get messed up in travel and transit, so I did leave that part at home. But they sent me like some bookmarks and like I think it's artistic interpretations of what the characters look like, as well as a couple stickers such as wolves and such, which was kind of fun. So very thankful for all of that as well. Now my tablet died at the moment, so it is charging, and I'm using my phone to read the summary for you guys, so we can continue our journey on books and all things magical. Um, so let us dive in. Vicki Voland starts her new job on the witching hour, and quitting time can't come soon enough. After learning that she must take on a mystical responsibility, young Vicki reluctantly leaves her friends and family for the Athenaeum. I think that's right. Athenaeum. Yeah, we're gonna go with that because that's what I was saying in my head. A retirement home for elderly monsters. All is not right with the Athenaeum, however, and without any trace of magic within her, she is at the mercy of the strange new world around her. The Athenaeum is filled with mysterious rooms, odd creatures, and ancient magics. The world has become a place of witches' spells and buttered beagles. Buttered beagles, yeah. Trickster statues and hungry griffins. A dire place of goblins, ghosts, and ghouls. Danger looms for poor Vicki Voland. A hungry and foul beast awaits her should she fail to pass the test that the Athenaeum requires of her. With no one coming to save her, Vicki may have to rely on some new monstrous friends to keep her alive. And she'll need to learn the truth about her friends back home if she is truly to become the housekeeper. So let me just see real quick if I can get us any additional little stats on it. I'm going to click this right up here. Now, I didn't quite look at NetGalley, or not NetGalley. I didn't get this on NetGalley. I got this from the author themselves. I did not look on Goodreads yet to see if this book is there. I hope it is. Now, the book is approximately, well, whap. I can look right here. I didn't even look. 209 pages. Not super long, which is great for a middle grade YA read. Now, let's just see real quick. It is anticipated to be released in 2025. I'm not actually sure if this book is available yet, but I do see a link for pre-order on. I saw it. Yeah. Well, I think I saw pre-order on their website when I just clicked it to read you guys the summary. However, looking at this, which is just Google Books, it says April 30th of 2025. So hopefully it's available because I saw a link when Googling it on Amazon as well as Barnes and Noble. So if you're interested in this kind of book, please go look into it. I do support, independent authors and find it fascinating and fantastic when they reach out to me and ask me if I'm interested in their works, because I almost always am. There are so many wonderful writers that I love experiencing, and this has been one of them. S.P. Winchell hails from Midwestern United States, coming from a background in cartooning and independent published comic books, now focusing on storytelling above all else, bringing a fun twist to young adult readers with some light horror fantasy elements in each story, melding Western, Eastern, and some Algonquin folklore into the mix. So I just wanted to kind of read that about S.P. Winchell. Again, I know you can't see that very well, but it is just the Google Books review or summary that was available. So I just kind of wanted to share that. Let's dive into my thoughts because I think we are ready to go. So, Vicki Voland is, I want to say she's pretty young. She's seems to be 12 or 13 years old when we first get started into this. And I know the book does tell me that how old she is. And I'm just drawing a blank on it at the moment. But we do learn she's pretty young. And the book opens with her being excited about her grandfather's visit to them. She hasn't seen him in forever. She sends him pictures and all sorts of stuff. She really loves him, but she lives in the United States with her parents and her brother, and her grandfather it's her mom's father, lives in London, or, well, the UK. And so she's really excited that he's coming. So she opens the door thinking it's her grandfather, but it's this weird lady. And it's not her grandfather. But this weird lady seems to be trying to coerce Vicki into coming outside or letting her in, really. Just being like, hey, let me in. But we do learn that lady pretty quickly is kind of an evildoer. I want to say probably some sort of werewolf-esque lady. Because her fingers are all weird, and anyway, she's trying to come in. They don't let her in. The parents see this lady, and they're like, no, you can't come in. You are a bad guy. So we start off the book with a bit of chaos because we quickly learn the grandfather has passed, a will has been written, and now Vicki's mom, her sister, so Vicki's aunt, is supposed to come over to listen to the reading of the will. Well, the aunt is evil, and so the family does not want her in the house. They absolutely say, no, you can't come in. And but the person who is, I guess, kind of the executor of the will, he says, no, legally you have to right now. Aunt Zaldahide, I think is what she goes by, Zaldahide. She's a witch. She's a real witch, like witch. Not just a witchy bitchy person. But anyway, the executor says that she has to come in, listen to the reading of the will, and Vicki has to be the one to read it. Apparently that's part of the stipulation of the will, is that Vicki has to be the one to read it. Well, here's where some of my kind of issues with this come from. And I mean, I get it. But then again, I'm like, this girl is like 12-ish. Or 13-ish. She's pretty young. Not really completely understanding what's going on. But her mom gets like half of the grandfather's estate. Aunt Zaldahide gets, and I did say Zaldahide, she gets a quarter. And the brother of Vicki gets a quarter. And Vicki is supposed to go be a housekeeper, like her responsibility based on this will is that Vicki is supposed to go be a housekeeper at the Athenaeum. And that's just what I've been calling it in my brain. If I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, I do apologize. Athenaeum, something of that name. It looks like Athena, Eum. Just to let you know what it looks like. So now, so part of the will is that if she does not go, that something like, whoever prevents her from going, whether it be herself or her family, will be hit with a curse. So it's fairly imperative for Vicki to go. And that's really not great because, again, of Vicky's age. In my personal thoughts, this is kind of odd. Vicky gets nothing, but to become a housekeeper for the Athenaeum. Um, so I was a little disappointed about that, but it does work out. I promise, it does work out. So this is where we do have a little bit of horror spookiness, I guess you could say. Um, Vicky does have a cousin. Aunt Zaldahide seems to have a daughter. Aunt Zaldahide does also seem completely evil, like completely evil. Um, like it's kind of bad. I don't know where her humanity's gone, except for there's maybe like little crumbs of it, but she's very much like even knowing about Wicked and Elphaba and Wicked Witch of the West, she wasn't really that evil. She was just like she just anyway. This witch is a bad witch. Like if you ever saw Witches by Roald Dahl or read that one, those kind of witches, which are just real evil and like they eat children or something like that, turn them into mice. I bet you she does that. Um, Now, I will say this book has a little bit of vibe of Red Riding Hood meets Sabrina the Teenage Witch meets maybe a little bit of Hocus Pocus. I think those are some of the ones that I just kind of got that little bit of vibe about. And definitely wanted to mention that as well. Those were the kind of the things that were in my brain. So it has a sense of nostalgia when it comes to um, the feeling I get when I'm reading this. It was really cute, and yes, it does give Vicky, like, she has to go and she has to kind of prove to herself too when she goes to become this housekeeper that she can do it, because she's very much on the side of not being able to do a lot of things. Something happened like last summer for Vicky with regards to, let's just say, Girl Scouts and cookies versus dog biscuits and some of her friends. Now, Vicky, at one point we see this kind of image of Vicky where Vicky was really confident and popular and all this sort of stuff. And then all of a sudden now we see this very meek girl who doesn't want to go outside of her house. So we do kind of wonder what happened. And, maybe trauma, but you got to read the book to find out. And overall, very, very fun to read. I certainly give this at least a 4.25 stars. I read it very quickly. I had a great time reading it. I brought this one to the beach, which is again another reason that I didn't want to bring the dust jacket, is because I didn't want to mess it up. And I do think that I kind of hope we go on more Vicky adventures. I would love to see Vicky doing some more things, which I think there's some potential, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm not the writer, so, we will just have to see what's going on. But I do want to say that the final line just says, nothing was going to stand in her way, even if there was a wolf in there. So I'm just saying, just that alone, once you get there, tells me that we could definitely have some more Vicki Voland adventures. And I think they would be really adorable. I do not know how many other books this author has written. However, since this one was so fun, I would love to see what else they've done. I don't think I've ever reviewed a comic book on here, but I have been toying with the idea of a graphic novel. And I have also, I did do one graphic novel, which was about Beans, a little cat detective looking for his hat. It was so cute as well. But Vicki Voland and the Goblins, Ghosts, and Ghouls. Make sure I got that right. Yep. She gets to see the Athenaeum, and she's got some learning to do. She's going to stumble before she's able to walk or crawl or walk, and find her footing and going from there. There is a cute little griffin who comes along and I think becomes kind of her familiar, so to speak. And there are a couple other characters along the way. Vampires, there's a Frankenstein type girl. There are some goblins, of course, ghosts and ghouls along the way. And it does have a little bit of spooky haunted house vibes. because the house, the Athenaeum, does seem to be alive, but because I'm trying to not spoil anything with regards to the story, I just want you guys to know that it has all the fun elements that a YA middle grade really needs to have. And honestly, it goes pretty quickly as well. I think it was the perfect length. I think the pacing was pretty well done. And I do feel bad about Vicky's lack of confidence for, like, I guess the first half of the book. She's absolutely just struggling with her own sense of self-accomplishment, or yeah, I think that would be good to say, self ability to do things. She is very struggling very hard with those sorts of things. And that is her biggest drawback for herself and being able to accomplish her mission. But absolutely fun. I highly recommend it, and I hope you will go out and try to find it. Again, you can probably, I may try to link the Amazon and or the Barnes & Noble in my comment or in my box down below if you're interested in it. I think this is a great little YA read. So if you like witchy books with some spooky vibes, then this may be a good one for you. But with all of that being said, I do want to thank you all so much for tuning in. If you have not liked and subscribed already, then I certainly hope you will. And from me and the boys, little Argos over here, little Leo over here, we thank you for joining us on this journey as they have been snoozing all episode. And we'll see you on the next page. Have a great one. Bye.